And we're joined on the phone today by actress Kim Fields. You might remember her as Tootie from The Facts of Life. She was on Living Single, a lot of stuff over the years. Right now she's involved with the Her Stories series of short films on BET Her, and she's directing one called Baby Blue. Hey Kim, how you doing today?
Doing great. How about you?
I am excellent. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, I know you are involved with the new short film series here, Her Stories on BET Her coming up. Can you tell the listeners a bit about how these films came together?
Absolutely. So I have the great honor of directing a short film called Baby Blue, and it is a part of a series that's coming on this Saturday called The Couch. And it's a part of BET Her's initiative on mental health awareness, as well as celebrating Black women behind the camera. And I'm one of four badass directors who have been in the game for a long time in front of the camera ourselves. And so we're very excited to be able to, spotlight important conversations and expand the conversations into full-on narratives regarding mental health awareness.
Yeah, these films definitely deal with some pretty heavy-duty topics, pretty serious stuff. Maybe stuff that a lot of people don't like to talk about, but definitely needs to be addressed.
Absolutely. Most of the time, uncomfortable conversations are actually a pathway to greater good. And so with these, when you're talking about, your uncomfortable conversations regarding what's going on inside of you, definitely needed, and because it impacts those around you as well. We're not in this thing just by ourselves. So whether it's you've got your family, your coworkers, partners in business, whatever it may be, there are people that are around you. And yet most times people feel very alone, people feel isolated, and so part of the conversation is understanding that you're not alone and that there are ways for you to, talk through and work through being able to get your mental health in check, just like we do with our heightened awareness now about our respiratory system and our health regarding, immune systems and all the things that have become, pushing to the forefront of conversations now. Well, all that is fine in terms of our physical body, but the mechanical component that makes it all work is our mind. So that has to be important and valued as well.
Absolutely. And again, you're directing the film Baby Blue, which is one of the two films premiering this Saturday, and then two more will be coming up down the road. So will this be something maybe we'll see more from out of this series here?
I hope so. I think that BET Her did a really smart thing by creating this initiative and supporting the narrative even on their digital platforms with different resources, different sites and platforms that people can go to after the fact. So I definitely hope it's something that continues on because, our mental health is certainly something that continues on.
And it's great that you're able to get this platform from BET. It seems like the majority of the filmmakers in the industry still seem to be mostly white guys. So the fact that you're given this kind of platform, I think definitely is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm excited about being a part of this narrative as a director, and that more opportunities have existed now more than ever because there's so many more platforms now. And so you've got, Netflix that does so much in the international space with directors and producers and content from Africa, from Spain, from all over the world, and the same with a variety of platforms. So I'm very excited that, again, like you just mentioned, there's so much out there now. And people are really realizing that they can take glimpses into other types of characters and stories from around the world.
Well, and Kim, you've done a lot of directing over the years in addition to acting. Do you prefer being on one side of the camera more than the other?
I don't have a preference, honestly. I love it all. I love our industry. I love being a storyteller and a content provider. There are times when, it's more of a time commitment to be a director or producer because you're involved from, start to finish, as opposed to with being an actor. You kind of just go in and say your lines, and then you're done for that day. You don't have to think about editing or casting or costumes and budget and, all those other things. And even when, as an actor, when you prep for a role, you still are there and a part of the project for a much shorter time than, somebody that's directing or producing it.
Excellent. Well, again, the film Baby Blue is coming up here this Saturday on BET Her. And, Kim, it's always fun to see you pop up on other shows. I was surprised to see you recently on the Cobra Kai series.
Oh, I loved doing that guest star. That was just so much fun doing that. I had reached out to the writers and producers on Twitter to tell them how much I loved the show. And then the following season, they were introducing a character, and they said, "Would you like to do this?" I'm like, "What time and where do I show up?" And seeing Ralph Macchio was just, I still had the 80s crush and everything, and my palms got all sweaty when he came into the makeup trailer. But we had a great time.
Awesome. Yeah, of course, you've been acting since you were a little girl, definitely very early on in your life. And this is a bit off subject, but I just wanted to mention when I found out that you were doing some interviews here for the new film, I was actually watching the episode of The Facts of Life with you and Al DeBarge. It's kind of like fate or something.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness gracious. Wow. It's funny. Good times indeed.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a bit about your music career. I don't know if you're asked about that much these days, but your singles definitely back in the day, He Loves Me Not, Dear Michael. What were your, some of your memories of recording those? That was an interesting time.
It was a very interesting time. Definitely a lot of fun, and the at that time you'll probably remember that every teenager who was on a show also had a record, or was doing music in some way. And so it was very exciting for me to have the amount of success that those projects had, those singles had, and working with Motown greats, Hal Davis and Elliot Walensky was just something I'll never forget, and then performing on those iconic shows like Bandstand and Soul Train. And so it was certainly just something that was certainly fairy tale, when you think about, oh, I'm an actor. So it was great memories.
Excellent. Well, again, Baby Blue is coming up this Saturday. Is there anything else for you that we should be watching out for? Any other projects?
Yeah, I star in a Netflix series called The Upshaws with Mike Epps and Wanda Sykes, and so that'll be dropping sometime soon. We got 5 episodes in when we got put on hold for the pandemic, so looking forward to getting back to work on The Upshaws. And I have a line of coffee, Signature Blends by KF. You can find us online. You can find us on social media, Signature Blends by KF. And that's pretty much it for now. It keeps me busy.
Wonderful. Kim, I'm a big fan of yours, have been for a long time, and thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And again, that was actress Kim Fields, and her new film, Baby Blue, will be premiering here on BET Her as part of the Her Stories short film series that is going to be coming up on Saturday night.